Hey guys, how are you? This is the release room. This is Freddie Blue going live. If you guys watch my video, I ask that you subscribe. If you like it, just hit the bell button so you can get notifications when I come on and air certain things. Um, oh, where do we start? I just finished watching this movie called, or this series, TV series called The Keeper. And I'm not going to go too much in details with it, but I do ask everyone to, if you have a moment, to go watch this movie called The Keeper. And then I want to start out in saying that I apologize for my look. I actually was going to head to bed, and something was telling me, no, you may want to say something about this particular topic. You may want to talk about it. So I want to talk about R. Kelly. And first, I want to say that my prayers go out to R. Kelly, and in hopes that he will be able to understand what's happening around him. It's very sad um, what's occurring, and I do want to say to all the ladies involved, and I'm going to say allegedly because I haven't been following it, so don't have concrete information about anything. I'm just going to say allegedly. Um, my prayers go out to all the ladies too, girls, ladies, women's. My prayers go out to you guys also. But I want to talk about something real quick before I head to bed. This is my thing. When I was young, um, I was young. Um, but when I was younger, I heard people say to me, or I heard on television or some ram that education was the key. And I actually didn't get the meaning of that, until I began to pursue more education. So I went for my associate's degree, I went for a bachelor's degree, I went for a master's degree, and then I went on to pursue my PhD. And it was in the mix of me pursuing my master's degree that it started to click. Um, and I knew I got the reason why that statement became important to me. Um, and I'm saying that to say this. Um, Anytime that there's education, a lack of education in any scenario or any situation, you're generally going to find a lot of issues. So if that person or persons haven't embodied their education, or they have lack of education, and for the respectfulness of this topic, I would say is sexual education. It's about knowing the grams and the rhymes and the essence of what sex is all about. And I think as Americans, or as people in general, I should say, we tend to not talk about that topic. We tend to make that topic something that kind of takes a back seat. And when you do that, you get these situations that we're seeing now. I don't like calling names, but it's things that are already out there. So I'm going to put allegedly um, on some of them. Well, you have the Bill Cosby You have the R. Kelly. You have the guys. I remember holding the three girls in the basement for a long time. It's just you have Catholic churches. Um, you have all of this happening, and I just believe somewhere in the realms of who I am is that part of it is probably because we're not educated when it comes to sex. And so we decide to swim out, if you will, on these different realms of learning about it. Um, and we only see glimpse of it that hints on sex when it comes to television or it comes to different parts of the media. So you see an ad with a girl with big breasts. You see an ad with a girl with a big butt. You see an ad with a guy with his business going on. We see all of this, and it just goes up in the universe, and then it trickles down onto people that have a lack of knowledge about what's coming down on them. So they go through these hormones and they go through these changes and stages of life, and no one has actually talked to them about it. Now, I know most is going to say you can't use that as something as a defense to the for the defenders, and I totally agree with you. But I just believe that if we talked about sex, if we talked about the different means of sex, if we spoke about all what implies what sex is about, and don't allow the mind to wonder, then we may see a significant percentage of change. That's just in my opinion. Um, it's a hard pill to swallow, and you only way to be able to find it really out only if you decided to really talk to each individual about the knowledge of sex. The knowledge of sex. You know, that's what I wanted to say. So R. Kelly, we live in a world where it's just acceptable to be, if you're not sexy. But I don't hear anyone talking about, or at least speaking about, let's get sex education back in school. Let's get sex education as a, what do you call it? Like it's not your regular classes, but it's another class an elective course in our colleges. Let's put it in our high schools. You know, I think we need to really talk about it. I mean, parents really need to sit and talk about sex and quit waiting until you got these arena of people that's exploiting their ways of getting it. Um, I don't know what to say. Like I just believe that we have to be educated about it. We have to be educated about what sex is about. We have to educate ourselves about it, because this is the thing: not being educated about something and then put in a position that deem that you may have power. That's a slippery slope. That's like putting a banker. That's like putting someone in charge of money and they can't count. Would y'all do that? So you're putting people in a position that is not corely knowledgeable about what they're doing or getting involved with, but then yet we're making them responsible in the same aspect. They should be responsible because they're adults. That I agree with. But we got to educate. We need to educate people about it. Um, and then that way, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to clear it like 100%, but guys, at least I believe it can decrease the valueness of it. It really, really can. We need to really be mindful of um, of what we are not providing to people on this earth. At least be mindful of what people are not going out to seek out for themselves. Education is something that you can do on your own, or you can go into an institution. But we have to be aware of it. We have to be aware of it, the ones who are not doing it. And then, because most of the times, the ones who are not doing it are the ones who happen to just fall in a position they feel like they have power. You know? It's very, very interesting. And I want to say something else too. Is that the universe is a very powerful element of this earth. And it generally controls every aspect of all of our lives. And what happens is that when you have situations like that have been coming up, and one is R. Kelly, you best to trust and believe it's happening somewhere else too. And it's being kept quiet. No one is saying anything. No one's saying anything. But you trust and believe when the universe brings something forward for the earthly realm people to see, you trust and believe it's not just happening with that one person. It's happening in more areas than you know. So when these things come out, don't be surprised, because that's how the universe works. Love Mother Nature. She works like that. She feels like, you know what? They still ain't saw it. They still ain't saw it. They still ain't saying nothing. They still ain't saying nothing. Let me do this. That's the way she works. She works so you can see what you're doing that's not acceptable to her on her earth. Our prayer goes out to all the victims. Our prayers goes out to all the accusers. I pray that you get understanding and knowledge and wisdom in whatever you're going through, and I pray that everything works out, um, so all can learn from the situation. I gotta go. Enjoy your night, guys, but I had to do this before I went to bed. But if you get a moment, go see this movie called The Keeper, because what Cosby went through, what R. Kelly's now going through, what all the other accusers have went through, it's been going on for years. And victims decide not to say anything, but out of fear, out of powerlessness, being powerful, they don't feel they have power to change it. Um, and so we have to say something. You have to say something. If you're in a situation now and you see this video, You can say something. You always don't have to say something very directly. You have to get very creative in what you're doing if you want to make awareness of something. And you can do it indirectly. You always don't have to do it directly. If you fear of going to that person, the repercussions of what it would do to your life, if you fear that, um, then you need to find a creative way in doing it. But you have to get out of that situation. And to end on that, I gotta go. You guys be good, take care. But I'm telling you, the universe is a powerful element, and it's gonna show the world what the world is doing that she does not like on her earth. It will show us. And it's just quickly and quickly unfolding. But you trust and believe. There's more. There's more. It may not be with a man and girls. It could be a man with boys. It could be a woman with boys. It could be a man and a woman with boys. It could be a man and a woman with girls. But you trust and believe me, it's still happening. It's still happening. And all these cases is the universe is telling you, if you're doing it, you need to stop. Because you too will have to pay your price. Bye guys. Take care. Chat later. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the button.